As part of its role as the rocket fuel for the propulsion of Guyana's agriculture sector, the National Agriculture Research and Extension Institute, Narei, is pushing ahead with its upgrade of substations around the country, ramping up its extension activities and engagements with farmers, all in fulfillment of its legislative mandate, that of providing critical support to the development of agriculture in Guyana. Over the past few weeks, CEO of the entity, Mr. Jagnarayan Singh, has been visiting Narei substations all across Guyana's coast, as well as hinterland communities in regions 1 and 9. He gave us an overview of his activities and findings through his many site visits and interactions on the ground.
I came here on the 10th of March, and from the 10th of March to date, I wanted to go to all the regions or all the offices of Narei. One is to meet with the staff, see what they're doing, look at the work they're doing, and see how we can better whatever they're doing. Part of that, going to all the offices of Narei, I didn't get to do all as yet because Narei have offices in every single administrative region of this country, and not just one. In some places is more than one. Region 1, I was there. I only looked at part of Region 1, 3 days you spent there, going with boats, some cases going with tractors, in some cases going with taxis and so on. I was able to visit our Sororo processing plant, where we do drying and processing of the turmeric and ginger, some black pepper too there. That's a very good area. That's a very good area and very bright prospects.
At Region 9, the Narei CEO interacted with staff and farmers alike in both South and North Rupununi. The Narei boss also delivered on promises made to residents by Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa during his outreach to the area earlier this year.
Then I visited Region 9. It was another very exciting 3 days, going a few 100 kilometers north and then a few 100 kilometers south of Letem. We were able to fulfill Minister's promise. Minister went in, wasn't there visiting on the 23rd or 24th of March, and he made some promises. We did fulfill whatever he would have made, and we would have visited some of the areas who would have written to Minister requesting assistance in some very simple equipment and basic equipment like brush cutters, spray cans, bomber pump, accoucheurs, bait, some fertilizers and so on. We did 3 hectic days down there too, and did visit the office, visit our nursery at St. Ignatius. Very good, nice. That's one of the best I would have seen visiting before I would have made any comment, because I guess you've seen here today where we visit from the last time you came. It's nice laid out, clean, and got the plants happy, well, healthy looking.
Mr. Singh said that in keeping with its mandate, Narei has refocused its efforts at ensuring science-based technology transfer to Guyana's farmers through closer working relationships with the farming community.
My mandate here, I guess, is Narei mandate is to ensure we fulfill our legislative responsibilities, support for agriculture, everything under the sun other than rice and sugar. And that's what we're trying to do. The coconut industry, wild coconut, you know, some people say Hope Estate had a lot of responsibility for coconut. We here have the responsibility, the technical responsibility of the husbandry, pest and disease management, and all that goes with the coconut growing. Even the product development and so on, somewhere down the road we have to look at some of those things. as we go along. International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, we are encouraging some of the things. We will have talked to the First Lady with our project to plant fruits and vegetables in schools and wherever they want to grow. We are also producing seedlings and vegetable seedlings for most places who want. We're not trying to compete with the commercial nursery owners. Because where they are, we would not be trying to produce what they produce, because I know that's part of the drive. We have to have a public-private partnership.
Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa has since expressed his satisfaction at the ongoing work of Narei, which he described as critical to Guyana's growing role as the focal point for agriculture development and sustainable food security, not only for us, but for the region as a whole.
And I think we have started to already seen result coming out. We are doing new nurseries across the country. We know for a fact that over the years we have seen a stagnation at Narei and a new life we have seen back at Narei now, where we have more proactive outreaches. And whenever I go across the country, I normally take Narei and all the officers with me, especially Narei. They have to give a lot of leadership and guidance to farmers to increase our other forms of production, other crops production, because as I've been speaking here, in this year's budget, we will be building new agro-processing facilities, and we have to have farmers now to change their attitude, change their culture, so that we can have more value-added product. We can help them to package their produce, package their product, so that they can have more value-added. And as chairman of the Ministerial Task Force in CARICOM, I will be advancing Guyana's position so that we can remove those barriers in the Caribbean and we can have more of these products and produce being exported to the Caribbean, because in CARICOM alone over the years we have seen between 5 to 8 billion US dollar being imported annually into the CARICOM market, and Guyana will have to play a very important role there. I think many Caribbean countries have already seen the leadership of Guyana over the last 8 months. Our president is once again in the forefront speaking on agriculture. He has presented a document, a paper, to advance the agriculture agenda and food security in the Caribbean. And coming out of that document, the CARICOM heads of government have adopted that document. And coming out of that document is a ministerial task force with agri-ministers around the Caribbean. And I think we have already had one meeting, and we'll be meeting back early next week. And we are leading that process. We are leading that process. And you know for a fact also that when they had this volcano in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Guyana was the first country to start to send these aids there and aid to the country, and we were heartening to see the compliment and the expressed by the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So Guyana has a very, very important role to play. Guyana will take back its spotlight as the breadbasket in the Caribbean. We are on the verge of doing that. And these are coming about not only because we have one sector, the agriculture sector, to push forward. Over the last 5 years, we have seen, prior to August of last year, we have seen the agriculture sector taking a back burner in the country's development, because everything were advanced towards island gas. As an emerging island gas country, we recognize the importance of island gas, but we also recognize the importance of agriculture, because agriculture is here to stay, and agriculture will help us to get food security in Guyana and the Caribbean. So we cannot neglect the agriculture sector. And it was very heartening to see the report that came out the other day that agriculture, although we are in a pandemic and we have seen many sectors contracted, we have seen a growth in the agriculture sector. And agriculture over the last 6 months has contributed almost 11% to the country's GDP. And this will increase at the end of the year, because I am optimistic that we'll increase production and productivity.
On Tuesday this week, between the hours of 10 to 13 hours, at the Ministry of Agriculture on Regent Street, Minister Mustafa will be hosting the distribution of seeds and seedlings to members of the public as part of the Ministry's celebration of Guyana's 55th independence celebrations on Wednesday, May 26th.